Hey there, YouTube family. Dr. K here, back for another video. Welcome back to my channel, Winning in Education. On my channel, if you are a return subscriber, you know we talk all things winning. Winning in education could mean you're new to the teaching game and you're trying to figure out, how do you do this whole teaching thing? Or you're already a teacher and you're looking to move up and become a teacher leader or maybe even a principal. Or winning could mean that you are looking to leave that teaching game behind altogether. So whatever winning means to you, that's what we talk about here on this channel. So if you're new, welcome. Please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you will know when I upload a new video. So today, what are we talking about? I am still on this phenomenon of teachers leaving the teaching profession, but I have a twist today. I came across another news piece. It was on Insider, and the title of the article was, "I moved to a tiny Alaskan village to be a teacher, and now I earn $15,000 more than I did earn in other states, and I only have 5 students." Yes, 5 students. So of course I'm going to link to that particular article below so you can check it out. It was a cool read. I really liked it. So as you know, I like talking about ways to keep teachers in the profession. Even though I look at all of these teachers talking about why they left and my heart breaks, I am trying to come up with some ways that teachers can stay, things that they can think about. So as we continue examining why they're leaving the profession, we know that pay is right up there at the top. In my previous video, and I'm going to link to that, it'll be somewhere up here, on why teachers quit. I think that was episode number 5 or 6. Teacher pay sucks. So we know teacher pay sucks, and teacher pay is one of those reasons that we're losing so many great dynamic teachers. So as a recap, we know there are roughly 3.5 million teachers in the US, and depending on where you live, your pay differs. So you could be making good money in New York, or if you're in Mississippi, which pays teachers the lowest, your pay could suck. So we examined in that video the starting salary for teachers in Mississippi, and I'm looking it up. It was, with no experience, you were coming in making $45,000. After 20 years of service in Mississippi, you were only at $60,000. So we talked about you can work your tail off and decide to stay in Mississippi and dedicate your life and your career to teaching and teaching in the Mississippi education system, but you are going to be well below where your counterparts are in other professions, of course, and even within teaching in other states, because your salary after 20 years is still just going to be $60,000. And I think I rounded up. I think it was like 59.5. So let's say 60. Well, if you compare the teaching salary in Alaska, so starting salary, and I had to write this down so I didn't forget, for the 2022-2023 teacher school year is you start with no experience at $49,600. That is with the bachelor's, coming right out of college. The only experience that you're likely to have is, your volunteer experience and of course your student teaching. So you make $49,600. With your bachelor's plus, let's say, 36 credits, your starting salary with no experience now is $54,500. And then when we start talking about you have a master's degree, you're starting at $55,000, and with the doctorate, you're starting at $64,000. So think about those numbers when you compare, say, let's talk about Mississippi again, where you start at 45, and 45 starting in Mississippi and 49.5 starting in Alaska doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot of a difference, but think about the gap. Over 20 years, you're just at 60,000. No matter if you got that master's or doctorate, you're still about 60,000. So over the lifetime of your teaching career, you are still not making any money. Now, I can already hear what you're thinking. Who in the heck wants to move to Alaska to teach? I am a sunshine bunny. I can guarantee you the thoughts of moving to some place that snows, and is cold, and is gloomy, and sometimes you don't have a whole lot of sunlight, does not appeal to me. But obviously from this article, there are people doing it. And I did a very cursory search on YouTube to see if I could find teachers in Alaska. And tons of videos popped up, and these are young teachers. So people are doing it, and mainly because of the benefits. So let's talk about some of those benefits. Benefit number one, obviously, is pay, which we just talked about. Not only do you start higher, right, than some of these other districts, you get a larger salary increase over time. So your increases from year to year is higher than you would get in some of these other districts. So again, that means you're going to be making more and more money. So Alaska, when you will do your search, is one of the highest paying districts in the states. And now average salary, I looked that up, average, meaning they've been in the district and they're averaging out salaries. Elementary school teachers on average make around $75,860, right? $75,000 on average for elementary school teacher. Now for a secondary school teacher, you're making on average $77,920. Now I pulled that from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so these are averages. But just think, if you were in Mississippi, you would not even see 70. You would pretty much cap out at 60. So this is the average salary in Alaska. So that's benefit number one. Benefit number two is class size. So here's a caveat. In Anchorage is the largest district in Alaska, so class size is not necessarily as small as the young lady in the article. Remember, she said she had 5 students. She was teaching in more of your rural states, rural areas. So in Anchorage, you're going to have particular class sizes about 25 or so, right? So we're used to that. But if you are up for an adventure and you decide you want to go more to the rural areas, you're going to get more money because they have all sorts of incentives to get people to come out to these rural areas, and your class sizes are going to be smaller. Now, the young lady in the article, she had 5 students and she was teaching in what we consider a multi-graded classroom. So that could be exciting if you like, things changing all the time, or that could be a negative for you. So what we mean by multi-graded classroom, she taught 8th grade on up. So she could have had 1 student in 8th grade and 1 student in 9th grade, and she had to make sure that she was meeting all of their individual needs. So you have 5 students, I think you can get it done. So that's benefit number 2, could possibly be class size in Alaska, depending on where you teach. Benefit number 3 is the teacher recruitment incentives, particularly in Anchorage. And I only really looked at Anchorage for that. So they have all sorts of bonuses. So right now they're running a signing bonus for special education teachers. Right off the bat, you will get a $5,000 signing bonus with your commitment to teach in the district for 2 years. And that's just 2 years. They also offer a relocation bonus of $10,000, meaning they're going to pay you to relocate there. The commitment for your teaching time there goes up to 4 years. So $10,000, 4 years, you have to commit to teaching within the district. They also have what they consider a special education alternative certification program. So they are paying general education teachers to go back to school to become special education teachers. So they have tons of incentives. So Alaska, I don't know, sounds like it might be worth considering. I know not everyone will be well suited for life in Alaska. Now for me, again, I'm not a snow bunny. I don't like the cold. I don't know. But if you're a teacher looking for more money, this is something you might want to think about. Now, how I think about teaching in Alaska is liking it to teaching abroad. We always have teachers talking about, oh, I want to move out the country and experience something different and new from my own culture. I want to do something exciting and new. Now, this young lady from the article, she had done that. She had taught in Germany. She was slated to be teaching in the Dominican Republic, but then COVID happened. So she had to monitor and adjust. She had to find herself another teaching gig, and she landed in Alaska. So you might want to think about teaching in Alaska as your semester abroad. Something new, something exciting. It doesn't have to mean that you have to go out of the country for something new and something exciting. If you are living in New York and you go teach in Alaska, it is going to be a different culture for you. If you're living in the heart of an urban city and you go teach in some of these more rural areas in Alaska, that is going to be a different, more exciting experience. So think about teaching in Alaska as teaching abroad. Now, I worked in the Middle East. I've taught and lived abroad, so that's how I kind of looked at it. And one of the main reasons for me working abroad and living abroad was for the money. It was incentive for me to uproot my life and go try something different. Now, how I kept this in perspective was, and I told people this all the time when they started talking about, oh my gosh, you're teaching in the Middle East, what are you going to do? Well, if it doesn't work out, you come back home. So this is the same thing that can be thought of if you decide to go to Alaska. If it doesn't work out, then you come back home. You don't have to stay there. You can go and try it, particularly if you're a sped teacher and they're giving you a $5,000 signing bonus and you only have to stick around for 2 years. You can do 2 years. You'll be fine. So I think teachers should look at teaching in Alaska, again, as a teaching abroad opportunity. The worst thing that can happen is you hate it, you hate the weather, you hate being so far away from home, and you decide to come back home. That's the worst that can happen. But the best that can happen is you might actually like it. You might like living in Alaska. You might like the experience of that. So I gave you some videos that I'm going to link down in the description that I want you to take a look at. These are young teachers who are living, working, thriving in Alaska. The first one is Alyssa Lifestyle Vlogs, and her video is all about how to teach in Alaska. So I'm going to link that for you. The second one is from the channel Pre-K Pages, and her video is What's It Like to Teach in Alaska? And she was smiling in the video, so I don't think it was too terrible. The third channel is Expats Everywhere, and the video is Teaching in Alaska. I'm going to link it below. And the final one I want you to take a look at, these are all young teachers, Ed Ventures in Elementary, and her video is Teaching in Bush, Alaska. So she's teaching in some of the rural areas. So take a look at those videos. I mean, I know for some, suggesting moving to Alaska may seem extreme. It may seem like, oh my gosh, I am not just going to move to Alaska just to make more money to teach. But there might be some teachers out there who, have the travel bug, have that adventure streak, and they might want to try it out. All right, guys, so that is it for now. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Alaska. If you're thinking about going, have you heard of people who have gone and loved it or hate it? Leave a comment below. I would be very interested to hear what you have to say. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my video. Okay, guys, that is it for now. Take care. Bye-bye.